Hello and welcome to another new Safari Ltd hashtag How I Safari figure review. Today we're talking about the new for 2020 Pachycephalosaurus, another one of my favorites from this new lineup of figures this year. And much like the Pachycephalosaurus and much like any other currently in production model from Safari, you can indeed purchase this from SafariLtd.com. Amazon.com/Safari Ltd, and you can still use the coupon code Bionic for a little discount. So go do that, or don't. You have free will, but you totally should. So anyhow, also similar to the Pachycephalosaurus, the first thing that really jumps out at me with this model is the coloration. In this case, it doesn't have anything to do with the stock photos like misrepresenting it and it being a pleasant surprise, because I've liked this one from the start. And in fact, it reminds me so much of a particular modern animal that I'm just gonna throw that animal up on the screen right now. In the form of an image, not literally throwing it onto the screen. You get the point. The animal is a gray-banded king snake, a gorgeous colubrid snake with a very distinctive coloration and pattern to it. And it's totally similar to this figure, this desaturated gray and then this very saturated vivid orange, little accents of black. It's super satisfying, one of my favorite color schemes they've ever put on a model to date, and I just adore it. Just look at that. It's so nice. I don't know how you can't like this. It's very unique, and yet the orange really stays within kind of the pattern of using a lot of orange that Safari has displayed over the past few years. It's definitely kind of their signature color, but just it's used in such a unique way, and it really makes this figure stand out, really makes it just particularly attractive looking to me. Another great aspect of this model is the detail. It doesn't have quite as much of like the nice little skin folds and things that the Pachycephalosaurus does, but the actual scales are a bit larger, so it's sort of understandable that it'd be harder to work in more like little bits of folding and wrinkling skin with larger scales. And the scales themselves are just so nice that I don't really care. And there is still a bit of nice like skin folding on the neck here, you could see. And just, yeah, the scales are super crisp. This is just like exactly what I've come to expect from Safari. This reminds me of like one of their ceratopsids or something like that. Just this really satisfying to look at, crisp, individually sculpted scalation. It's great. It's really well done. And also, this figure has a few other notable details, particularly around the head. The head of Pachycephalosaurus is incredibly iconic, has a very distinct anatomical structure, and yeah, it's a great opportunity for lots of detailing, but also an opportunity for failure in detailing, and I'm happy to report that there's no failure here. All the little bumps and knobs and scales around the head just look great. This whole area is super like gnarly and realistic and awesome to look at. Really, really well done. The eyes are awesome. I mentioned on the, or in the review for the Edmontosaurus that the eyes on that figure were like exceptional for Safari. Safari's eyes are never bad. They always, serve their purpose and they look pretty good, but these ones are like a little more glossy than usual and they just look so nice. Yeah, you could see it there really well. And on the other side, you could probably see it even better. Yeah, they look really, like genuinely lifelike. And I just love this style. I don't know exactly why only a couple figures from this year's lineup have these like superior eyes, but they do, and I'm happy about it. I'm trying to think of other things to talk about with this figure. Oh, the dome injury. I knew I was forgetting something. I forgot to even put this in my notes, but of course the camera went out of focus. Anyhow, on top of the dome, you can see there's a little injury here, perhaps from a headbutting with another individual Pachycephalosaurus, or perhaps from defending itself against a predator. Either way, adds a little bit of character, a little bit of implied backstory. I'm not sure why it's red. It looks like flesh in there, but the dome was solid bone. I guess you could say that that's blood, because there probably would be blood vessels running along there. I'm not really sure. Either way, I think it looks really nice. Great little detail to include. Now, there are a couple negatives I have with this figure, mainly just with accuracy. The first thing is less of a concrete criticism and more of just a questionable decision in my opinion, and that is just the proportions and shaping of the animal from the top. It's super chubby here, and quite chubby and plump towards the base of the tail, and then the distal half of the tail just thins out to the width of a frickin' potato chip, and I don't know why. It's a bit odd looking. Looking at the skeleton, I can sort of see why you might reconstruct it like this, and it certainly is not like bone breaking or impossible, but this kind of distribution of fat and muscle along the body is just a bit odd, a bit extreme to me. The other thing is the skull shape and structure. It's clearly based off of the skull of a subadult or a juvenile, like perhaps an actual a Stygia Moloch. And I can tell that because the overall shape of it has this very like diagonal, straight sort of line down from the top of the dome to the snout, whereas the adult Pachycephalosaurus skulls that we have display a much more extreme sort of massive dome with this very like concave, curved sort of swoop down, like along here to the snout. But yeah, the adults have a very iconic sort of swooping shape to their skull, sloping down from the front of the dome down to the snout. And this one is this more sort of broad, triangular shape. So, in conclusion, I'm giving this one another, 9 out of 10. Sounds about right. And here it is with the Eutyrannus as usual. And I hope you enjoyed this video. I will see you on, we're gonna do, this is now a tradition. I will see you on the flip.